as a digital simulation, really, to digitalize, to steal life. It is an anti-life program. It's moving from carbon-based life to silicon-based life, to a digital twin of the world that they can control, that is disconnected from spirit and...
I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. In the bright glow of the dawn, I see myself clearly, bringing in a new day. The old way of doing things is done. I don't care what you say. Monsters don't sleep under your bed. They sleep inside your head. And if you haven't done the shadow work, and left behind is where you stay. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the street. We gotta protect plus homeschool. Our babies is a must. They not just no moms, but also no posse. Spola, worshiping pedophiles. Wanna feed our children's spirits to robots. Turn all of us from carbon-based to silicone-based. Should be where the shit show stops. Get back to doing for ourselves. Water system irrigation and grow crops. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to walk with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets. I'm saying I'm not some master teacher. No, am I some pastor or preacher? Was released from prison with this passion to speak of. After doing 25 years in the beast cuffs. Realize they tried to teach us spiritual, mental, physical diet. They tried to feed us the fire of our ancestors resides in each of us. With that, I'm inspired. Just keep up. I'm envisioning a world full of love and peace. Thus my decision is to war with this beast. Through tones, melodies, poems, and beats. But when the time comes, shoot it out in the middle of the streets.
We're really approaching almost like it's a Frankenstein moment. And they're framing it to us as, innovation, right? Where we should all be so excited that this is happening. And, I equate it to like the Golem, bringing in like these robots. They would like to feed our life force to learn us in every tiny detail, not to empower us, but to actually transform us into a robotic simulation that is under their full control.
Nah, bro. Come on. You almost there, bro. Almost there. Survive. Push up.
I do it dies for Chi-Town. Who am I but Chi-Town? You young fool, I'm too fly to slide out. Blue sky but high ground. A crown slash helmet. So my aircraft stealth spit. Can't be tied down with even seat belted. I look down, I see green like a Celtic. My heat pulverizes, the cheese is melted. The remnants of cash money, I dispelled it. You did the fusions in my eyes, I beheld it. The finger fucked the cause my hand, I dealt it. Felt the vibrate from the gut of my pelvic. The bust off on some ice, just unveiled shit. So radiant, I keep a dark room well lit. Cause you little goofies are well quick. Body for real marquee velvet. Body you not for Mars, use a female's clip. As a kid, all I did was fight. I did the bit with a knife. I know I can spit, my flow's the shit. To a fly though, haters wanna crucify a real man. I still stand with the still hand, but we're healer man. This not Cypress Hill, I'm Tuttle Sheep. I'm one tough cookie, I don't follow, I set standards. To catch me, you gon' have to do more to scamper. Need more to scanners, I'm off the radar. I am as you goofies play God. Some worship the Christ, others pray to Allah. Chase a high, drink paper or bruh. You stagnated, well I straight evolve. At a rate, I'm dating space AC, y'all. Buster stuck in the cases face off. Acted to shape the state, use a fate, a fraud. Battlestar intergalactic, my mindset. Perfect comes from practice, so I rhyme best. I excel like I'm climbing the step. You got a lot to learn. I am adept, you of no concern. I am a threat. My measurement, width, lift, height, and depth. I'm just piloting up. Flying a jet, straight to adversary. Martial Chronicles like Ray Bradbury. I'm a thorough guy, goddammit. Symmetric apparel of a fly bandit. Mohawk, aviators, aerodynamics. And it's like I'm an arrow in precise transit. A Christmas carol lies what your fans get. Your worlds and perils what I transmit as a transcript. Or I just spit it off the top. It's either shit or get off the pot. This shit's hot.
Wants to get his own crew. Everybody wants to get his own crew rich. And then they want the other little people never get a piece of the pie. And don't want to go for the cracker. And go for you niggas that think that y'all big too. I understand this. That's why you niggas and jackers can't stand me. You niggas just know that I know you can't do nothing if you're broke. Listen to me, young people and old people too. Mostly black people, I'm talking to you.
So, y'all really thought that I was done with y'all. Nah, I'm really down on y'all. Fellas up.
And my music, and a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising. I mean, the oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who can have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, ain't no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. It's time for a change, got a boss up. The oppressor's about to get tossed up. I'ma lay him out, execution style's too late for an apologetic claim. You wrapped in a coca flame, by God, it's overdue. Your time is to the end. Locked out, silent without sin. He put me on the planet for justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled up. With suppressors attached in the war zone. Revolution could start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger prophet like Farrakhan. Backed by the honorable, who sits at the pinnacle. Who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the pitiful simple. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protective service. Quick to pull the Glock, blast and kill. This don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand. Over Neil's too late when the caps get filled. Don't believe in TC type. Going hits close to home. You gotta act the bone, but it got the dome when it's on the zone. All red of my vision through sight. It's killer be killed whenever I fight. From above, I be given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. All the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' let him off, so gon' pass the kite. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, need no surrender.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a gimme. Everybody back off. You know, everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme. Push. Step. Crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped.
Hey, Nitsa, what's going on, mama? How's it going, everybody? Hey, what's happening? Just waiting for a few more people to come on in. I had to set up for noon, but I need to run to the post office, and I'm probably gonna pick up some water and stuff. So we got a lot of new faces up in here. Pause in the middle. What's going on? Even though I can speak a little Russian, I don't know what that says, beloved. What's happening? Yeah, most of my friends served with and Gunfighter Canyon. A lot of them are Russian. Well, it's a couple of Ukrainian, but they all get along well. That stuff that's going over there, that's CIA, Mossad. That's the very people that brought the Bolshevik wars, that caused the Crimean War, which is the actual real first war. Other than that, there was no other wars. We were at peace. Tartary existed. Hell, in my land, they taught up to 1939. And for those who don't know, there's nothing I could do, nothing I could do about that. Daniel Broccoli. Nice truck. Appreciate it. It's good to see you guys. Young guys. Doesn't matter age. Howdy. Oh, I see. Okay. So this is something else. That's the only thing they know how to do, huh? So somebody reached out and they was like, "Yo, Red, I didn't really believe it." I was like, I'm not into the factors of believing and not believing. My ancestral soil. I says, you have a lot of dummies here. You even have a machine is all I'll call it. I won't say AI, that's another, that is gripped, and it's nothing new, by the idiots. And there's everything on that side to convince them that they're going to win. Whatever win and lose is. This republic that has nothing to do with Republican or liberal democracy, dumb, fake, Zionist, goofy nonsense. I mean, people out there, if you want to war and kill each other and kill yourselves off, go right ahead if that's what you think you're doing. Have at it. Have at it. It is such a weak state of existence. The lowest of all lows. Fake history. And every day, fake history is being made. It's amazing. I'm going to read a little bit out of The Crowd, A Study of the Popular Mind by Gustave Le Bon. Excellent read. I'm going to actually step over to chapter 3 and I'm going to read a little parcel on there. I'm going to talk about DEI, diversity, equity, and that everything that you think you know is a headline to a false narrative. And there are these dumb Negroes running around talking about he's dismantling education. Your broken families, your black behinds can't keep your children in school anyway. Oh, you creating colored people. Yes, that's right. I'm the real American Indian. I ain't Native American. Even though a lot of them bought me T-shirts talking about Native veteran and all that other crap. I respect them. But yeah, I'm actually the real one on this land, the original of this land, actually. All right. I have a lot of brothers and sisters throughout South America, very good friends of mine, compadres, whatever you want to call it. I was telling this sentient, I don't get into all the different left and right fake diversities of deplorable understanding of whatever it is. And I have family members in Pelon, Costa Rica, and a few other places there. They're not from Africa, they know it. But there are some in the community who think they're Afro-Indigenous. Afro-Indigenous or Afro Latino or Afro-Indigenous does not mean from Africa. I'm going to say it again. Africa, the term, has nothing to do with Africanus. I don't care if you want to utilize that fake name and narrative, just like people talk about the Victorian age. It's Tartarian. Victorian is another rewrite. It's a construct. It has no truth whatsoever. Just like the Renaissance means, and it's, remember I went over it? Linguistics, I use brave, I use Yandex, I didn't tell you, to express that it's a rewrite. Renaissance isn't some beautiful thing. And in the dumb black community, all right, they think it is because W.E.B. Du Bois, who was a pedophile, he was a whole lot of things like a lot of idiots are right now. When the majority, 99% of our people weren't. Frederick Douglass, I already proved that he wasn't from some fake place called Africa. Africa is a Dutch, you can say French as well, but Dutch Creole word that applies to light-skinned folk. In the Pyrenees maps and the maps preceding that, my light-skinned brothers were there. And they always talk about the Caucasus mind. First of all, Caucasian, the whole nationality is a dark race of people that were eradicated. And people don't even know that story because that's before the Crimean War. They were the first ones of Tartary to be usurped, and then the Abkhazarians after World War I, who fought alongside a lot of our Russian brothers and sisters in the First World War, to which, again, Germany won, but because, you know who, APAC, ADL, whatever you want to call them, they have branches in every secret organization of governments, all, whether they be China, Russia, everywhere. It's the very same people. And most people don't know it because how would you know it? They create all the chaos. It's very, to me, it's funny because I come from a different side. I come from a very dark side. Y'all, the term y'all utilize is just, it's so well scripted. Y'all run around calling each other evil. Y'all don't know what real, I hate that word evil, that's so stupid, what it is. But you parlay with it and you feed it on ignorance. You cannot take one person full of light, put them in a room of dark, and that light not become dark. Now, in that darkness, light will exude. The problem is, how long will it take for that individual light to circumvent and to start manifesting different? No one knows. Because it really hasn't been tested. Everything now is an experiment, showing that most people, humans, or mankind, because what y'all have a hard time accepting, you always look to America. Incubator babies and Cabbage Patch babies were the world over by old world technology of ours. It's like the Vatican stole our healing chambers and everything else. But it goes beyond that. And they had to make sure everybody was ignorant and separated and divided. How do you do that? Well, when you bloodlet, it's the pretty simplest way. You know what's funny about the First World War? Just like the Crimean, the Crimean War. That was blood. That was family. That's all family. And what they did, they whitewashed it. When I was over in Edinburgh, Scotland, when I was in Ireland, everywhere I've been, I got to see these old books. They were just, I don't know if they're still around now because they were about breaking and crumbling then. And I never saw the faces you see now in those books that come from that period of time, mid-17, early 1800s. The faces now are not the ones that were there then. Now, what's even more worse is if you study about incubator, you know, from a year to 12, taking a year and converting it down to like 12 days to, you know, and you see it with the cows and sheep and pigs, you see it with all that, and actually making them humongous and very small. That you can manipulate genes. They were photoshopping back in the 1800s. What makes individuals think that they don't, you know, nothing was hidden then. You know, what's even funnier is you hear all these ODAs and Army Rangers and China will eradicate, you know, they would kick our ass over in America and da. Let me assist you with reverse engineering and this fake government with CIA operatives, D-State. Not all CIA, FBI, and all them guys are bad guys. There are people who believe it. It's just like the KGB don't have a bunch of individuals running around murdering their own people like they used to all the time, because that was part of the Zionist narrative. Zionist has nothing to do with being a Jew, which is a religious consort. That's what they converted to, which they don't partake in. And it has nothing to do with light skin or dark skin. That's the stupidity of it all. It's mind-boggling how the dumbest people are made to be looked up to, and the most intelligent, highly intellectual have been put on the opposite side. Isn't that what the Zionists do? In order to create New World Order, they have to first take the original order of things, and they have to manipulate, and they have to use magic and all that. That's why they had the holly tree and all that kind of stuff. They have to do these things, the fake queen with the break the rod when that bitch was dead, right? All these things, because the people, subject means subjugate, subjected to. When you say, yeah, I'm a subject of the crown, yes, you are, and you have no idea who and what you are. You have no idea how powerful and strong you are without negating weapons and war and destruction. But what we see is we see the weakest individuals doing the most heinous, dumbest things against their own. If they only could see that side, yeah, they would probably want to completely erase themselves from all time, whatever y'all consider time. I hate time too. It's like birthdays and all. It's just dumb. A quicker way to get rid of yourself. But anyway, you would just want to be completely gone if you could really see what you have been doing. And because the insatiable appetite of the beast, you know what the beast is? A burden, right? They call it a wild thing. That means untamed. What does untamed mean? Without burden. But yet the burden is heavier than anything because it's unrecognizable, because you have stepped into a department that has nothing in there to sell other than you. I know people who want to consider themselves mentally ill. No, they're mentally deprived. Then they become depraved. They just went back and killed 50 kids, targeted 50 kids. These converts, these American, German, Irish, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, Russian, all these Palestinian converts to a Christian Judeo or Judeo type ideology, but it's because a lot of them were perverts. They ran and hid. It's like joining the French Foreign Legion, but the French Foreign Legion don't even take in those kind of bastards. They probably whoop your ass if you knock on one of those two doors. Anyway, because I was going to be a Legionnaire, and I had two friends that became Legionnaires, and I always say, you know, regardless of them being everything, the France needs to make better choices as where they intervene. Yet, that's still APAC is called here, and it's called a plethora of things everywhere else. What's funny is the individuals that buy into it and do these things, I get to see them, but they have embarked on the most treacherous journey, and they're not going to like the outcome. And those who have subjugated them and convinced them that it's all right, whether it's the Cornitere, whatever, pay them, it doesn't matter. And some other things I won't say that are really secretive, and you don't need to have knowledge of knowing. They have given themselves over. It's like you say, sell your soul. And yet the world believes off this fictional whitewashing of history, complete whitewashing of history at that it's a magnificent thing when their whole purpose is not to be religiously correct, not to be opulent, and not to rise to the higher existence of self, not to be sentient, but to be more depraved in the depravity of physical experiments instead of existence. It's like these Negroes over here, the last bastion of people on earth, the American Negro, not African, damn sure not Hamitic, okay? True sons of Shem, just like the Palestinians. Not all Palestinians, you gotta remember there's a mix. Just like not everybody in certain Ethiopian, this and another, are all Shemitic. It's just no way. And there's not 3 sons, there were 4. And I've already proved that for the eloquently disguised, hidden, blinder on individuals that like stirrups and balls in their mouth, but yet red balls. That's what I'm talking about. Anyway, I watch people crashing out, these dumb Negro women especially, and then these men who should have stayed to themselves with all that. About the education system being dismantled. what Trump did after he saw with all the little homosexual shit and these little weirdo transsexuals, well, the people like to dress up like women, never will be. The same thing what Hitler got rid of. Outstanding job, Adolf. Yes, I'm half German. I know the real story. Germany wasn't trying to kill him. Hell, there wasn't no 6 million of them there. As my ex-girl, my daughter's mama in Germany, her great-grandpa had told me when I met him. It was the funniest thing. He was a Waffen-SS pilot. Magnificent man. He was the one that showed me a picture of all the melanated people. He says, you know, you had a bunch of people from America over here that didn't want to go back. They fought on the first witch calls in the Poland and this, that, and other. Phenomenal jobs. They had to hide that history. That's some weak stuff. That's some punk coward stuff. They wanted to save the American Negroes to the end, but these women and these men were crashing out. They were teachers who wanted to push this perversion on these little younglings, these ones that need real guidance. You know, I taught for a long time martial arts and boxing and theories and a lot of philosophy to a lot of these children, whether it be on the res and the suburbs and the city, for free. Easily could have made 125. Now I had guys who worked with Hollywood talking about, yo, Red, train me, man, train. And I'll pay you $275. They had. I'm like, I don't want that empty damn dollar. My daughter's a millionaire. She, you know, I don't want it. You know, I had all these body aches and these different things going on. By the time in the military, all these chemicals and everything we mess with. Me being with PRP, Personal Reliability Program, dealing with nukes and all that. I was training for the special operator, and it's further breaking the body down while I was ignoring the fact of enhancing my mental, my soul, my source. Because I was a very dark individual, very dark. I can't go into it, but you don't have to bloodlet, do all the weird stuff to get high, to escape, to be around a caveat or the bandwagon layer mentality. To feed something that's unfeedable, you know, to drink something that you cannot satisfy that thirst, you know. He is putting it back in the state. That means your hands. For those who don't know that, it's important to go to your civic duties, to go to town hall meetings and everything, and to make sure that your mayors are on board and paid for, to know their salary and how they're living, and to be able to subjugate and say they need to be removed because somebody's influencing them outside. This is something that should have happened about 24 years ago, 28 years ago. Nobody wanted to listen. Nobody wanted to listen to William Cooper, so they had a couple of old Spaniards, right, murder them down there, FBI motherfuckers, like they did old homeboy that had the ranch out there, you know. Worst decision of anyone to take upon themselves to do these things. That's all I can say. You can sit there and be all high and mighty on your fake chair. I've been showing things, and so I'm gonna do it. Yeah, okay. Continue on. So anyway, for you, because I've heard a lot of parents say, what are they teaching the kids in school? Trump came along and says, we're going to put it back in your hands. Not the curriculum that falsifies history, keeps changing it, Orwellian, the George Orwellian factor, and everything else. You know, from Mark Twain, he conversed and told you what real history is, and y'all had a hard time buying into it. Napoleon, the real Napoleon, as Curamil, Drop, all of us know, wasn't the one they keep giving you, that fake so-called short little French light-skinned muff. That's not who Napoleon is. Just like Abe Lincoln wasn't this idiot who was a traitor that moved here from overseas, and they utilized him and put him up to create this fake white superiority that don't exist. I mean, how can you take it from the melanated man in this country that pretty much created every fucking thing y'all using, whether it's GPS or sister, X-ray, first successful heart surgery, brain surgery, goddamn, we can go on and on. We can talk about your helicopters, the Heinz, you know, all of it. Before the Wilbur, fake-ass Wright brothers, they didn't invent nothing. They came here to steal it and patent it, and that was from some brothers who actually created and patented the first airplane. had to go back and reverse engineer things that worked on free energy, now had to work on someone else. That's why we created the carburetor, spark plug, But all the fake Jews, all the Zionists could do was say, well, we're not going to let them get back in the system they call education, which that wasn't. Everybody had a trade here. All of our people had magnificent trades. And then what happened? You get all these new babies, these offsprings of these things that they develop, and they infuse them, we teach them, and then what happens? Now you're running around the world as if you ain't done shit. The first roller coaster, and you know, over there in Brooklyn, you know, the electric roller coaster, the wooden roller coaster, you know, us, Big Ben, yes, the clock, us, you know, I can go on and on and on. Hockey, basketball, when you want to talk about sports, it wasn't even fundamentally, as my great-great-uncle said, it wasn't even about that. But here it is. We're in this time where they created these things, devalued a wonderful, great people who had nothing but love and curiosity of others as well, to be put down, trodden down to a point where we got costume characters of stupidity running around. That's the reason why he's saying, wait a minute now. He done dated some sisters. He's like, wait a minute now. They got to educate themselves, because y'all, he knows. And yes, he converted to, yeah, y'all read about that? Him converting to Judaism, Judaism and religion. Yeah, Trump. He converted to being a damn Jew, which I think is pretty damn stupid. But to each his own. We're in a different time. People have a hard time because they don't like to research anything that might be meaningful somewhere else. Oh, Mac, Mark, what's going on, beloveds? All right, and this is the thing when we get into this little cross effect. You know, like, well, we're dealing with things. Nobody should really give a damn about what's being dealt with, who, where, or why. That's why I say it's so important for you to ascend. I mean, if you want to stay out here embarking on these little foolish diatribes, sharing memes over memes and this, that, and other, that doesn't accomplish nothing. Who is trying to convince who of what? I ain't attempting to convince nobody of nothing. I'm saying look at it, read it before you crash out because some goofy ass monkey in the media says one thing when it's something else. DEI, diversity, equity, and whatever the hell you want to call it. That has been a cover to create the most racist dichotomy. It is. So why would you still want to hold on to something that has allowed a perversion, whether it be in the workforce or anything in, because you can see it's in its worst state right now. Allow it to exist. So that means y'all still listening to these sellout Negroes walking around with beards and dreads who like pumping on men's backs, and women, sisters who went to Dubai to get money, get paid to get pooped on. Talking about I'm Kappa, I'm frat, I'm walk lean with it, looking all stupid. You know what I'm saying? Always standing in the mirror. Can you see me? What in the world is that? Ain't nobody saying nothing. I don't see no sisters when these women doing that saying anything to them. You know, pull your britches up, turn your behind around, your face, take the 2 pounds of Aunt your mama pancake batter off of it. Get that synthetic weave that's blackening your hair with them perms, get your brain jacked up. They probably can't wait to get you and do a lobotomy and section it off. Says, look what we accomplished with them. Every time you turn around, every time I can't go on Instagram with a sister I was always talking about with a big boobies or booty. That's all you got. When they used to argue about that based on the DEI. You see, this is the hypocrisy of the curse of the liberal party. Now, the conservative one ain't that different because you got a lot of light-skinned folk who are dumb. Half of them are niggas running around, don't even know it. Facts. I actually have about actresses and actors in Hollywood and the media whose mammy and pappy is niggas. Right there. And they run around with their little blue blonde eyes and everything, and blue blonde hair, blue eyes, and play, you know. You can't make this up. Yes, I'm half German. A little Costa Rican, a little Chinese, what to do. Right? Mostly Chickasaw of the Choctaw. Giant killers. The only ones. The bad ones. And the Huia and Gula on my mammy's side. who didn't betray the oath, nor betray the Republic or the Confederacy that which we established long ago in many countries right here on this soil. Now they got all these dumbasses in France and all these different places looking at us like we're the enemy. We ain't never been nobody's enemy. Y'all the fucking enemy. Based on these dumb fake ass Jews, y'all keep sitting there because you're looking at Charleston Heston and all this, telling all them goofy ass damn. Liz Teller was half nigga, you know that. All right, Bing Cosby, Abe Lincoln. You didn't want to watch that, huh? 1941, 42, whatever. Holiday Inn, showing you what Lincoln looked like, as dark as midnight. But you like the world they gave you, yet you ain't accomplished nothing. You ain't made nothing. No hate. We never was a hateful people. Now we're hateful towards each other, but it's more emotions. It's not a real feeling of hate. It's a lot of deep perversion, and you call it magic there. You know, when you change the diet of a people that's supposed to have a diet that is balanced in natural order. You know, I look at the Chinese that eat dogs. They're so stupid. They eat anything. You know, my Chinese cousins like, I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't even like calling myself Chinese. I said, that's not the real name. That's like Japan and everything else. That's a 1700 creation. Some would allude to, I say, in the 1600s, which only be the 6th century or 7th century, which would actually be 600, because there is 1,000 years, give or take, added on. And everybody likes running around in this new world, so therefore you can have a new world order, seeing how it's been tested, and they don't like you, and they want to do more perverse things to you, so you can have that. Very short time, but you can have it. I'm hard on the sisters and brothers today because, oh, look at those damn hawks. Anyway, because they need to be hard on, not pressed on by idiots in costume who are too stupid to know the truth, and fake lawyers and esquires and all these other attorneys who don't mean no good. A system of judges and courts and everything else that haven't existed here based on the crown actually ruling here by way of the Vatican. That's the reason why I was able to pull off the Papa Bull, to which nobody pays attention to. They keep listening to these idiots. Yes, somebody hit me up. You read, you wasn't playing when you, I said, yeah, I wasn't. Because he said, you know, the suicide rate is really skyrocketing. And I don't need to hear about it. I don't need to believe in what I'm capable of and what's easily accomplished. I can change its direction and focus. I can add to it for those who believe in addition. I'm not here for that. That was just a show. They probably say, is he looking right? Is he looking at, please, I play with that shit. Want to look at my iris? What y'all call it, iris? You don't even know what iris means. It's amazing how many people don't know nothing. But they run around this world as if they know something. It's always destruction. You think that's natural in your state? Well, maybe so in your state, how you stand. But do you think that's natural? I mean, because you go against all your brothers and sisters, and maybe you all should go on. You know what I mean? Yeah, I have no clue. I had a book showing, like my big mama, all the breastfeeding to save all these little idiots who will later start murdering them based on the design of Zionism in this country. Y'all are stupid. The first ones they would lynch would be the ones who are, I guess you could say, loyal to the truth of our existence. Thought that Tartary would come back. Yes, they got rid of them first. Then they came after the Negro, the Chinese, and the Mexican, by the definition of a new term. And they caused everybody to go after each other as well. Y'all can't even break free of that. Y'all are so stupid. I was watching a video of this Russian man murdered this Ukrainian man. He went over the top on, pulled a gun out, was going to shoot him. Guy standing there watching to make sure it's done. The most pathetic thing I've ever seen. Idiots, like the Iceman. He's a goof. I remember I was living in Queens. Donna Davis. Next Beyonce, it's Caribbean. And this little kid had murdered about 5-6 people. So I went to the store to pick up a backwood. And he's standing there looking at me goofy. I remember my perfume was really good. I saw him looking. So I remember going out, I had an RV. I remember he was behind me. So I remember I stepped out in the street, I turned around and said, oh man, I forgot. And he stopped. I said, hey, what's going on? He says, yo, what's up, huh? I walked over to him because I knew right off. I knocked him out. I slid him right against the fence. I'm not advocating violence. I knocked him out, broke his jaw. I knew he'd be down. He won't be murdering nobody no soon. After that, because people saw what happened and they heard, and they come to find out he had a 380 on him, he was going to shoot me, He didn't, after he came out, mouth wired, he, sadly, yeah. There are people out there who are so tired that they're willing to do harm. They put themselves in the same, they subjugate themselves to the very same false discipline. And you see that now, and none of you can make heads of it. I watched those fake soldiers in an Asian country, whatever, right? Take 2 young men who are not fighters, hang them up upside down with rope, put wooden tires under them and set them on fire, laughing and giggling. Same thing in Mexico. That's tough guy stuff, huh? That's man stuff, huh? No, that's pussy stuff. That's weak. The problem is they don't have no idea. Well, a few probably have found out, and they still got a road to go after they've been dispatched. You have no idea once you're dispatched what's going to happen. These idiots don't know either, all right? They don't. They know by documents what they think they know. There are individuals here older than all of you. Shit, older than all of you. Some of you put together. And here we have a chance in time for the so-called Negro, the true Udean, the true original of this land, to get it together. Every time, I got friends in Ghana, you know, my boy, you know, Links, and from there, in Caribs. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not originally from here. I have friends in Africa who know their family is originally from here, hundreds, if not thousands of them in communicating. You have all these dumbass American Negroes running over to Ghana and all of these different places. It's about the dollar and building up things. They don't know that James telling all those people that went there, whose families went there 100 years prior to them, yeah, they went over there and raised hell and kicked everyone's ass and set themselves up. And you see the mixing, you see the higher stupidity of it all through Marcus Garvey's dumbass, which they killed him about 40-something years old in an empty apartment in UK. House Leslie, he had to hide out until he was 80-something. You know what I mean? Come on. Excuse me. People didn't like the fact that I said, well, the only reason why Ethiopia was able to fight Italy back is because we had 2 pilots. More than that, we went over there, and yeah, they were able to push, you know, Italy back, whooping their ass. Nobody wants to hear truth. No, they want the greatest individuals here to be brought to a lower level. Look at that dumb Negro who worked with the SEAL guys, right? Working with the firearms, and he admits to doing something wrong with the upper. Like, was that a distraction? Like, who gives a damn? Like, if you're supposed to be special and you're supposed to be intelligent and this, that, and the other, and people want to play race, this, that, and the other, then you should step up and speak and say something. But it's obvious when it's an operation. And most people won't say nothing. Why? Because they keep playing into the division, the vice retort, the levels of easily explainable shit that's going on, and people choose not. You know, I'm on a bloodlet for this. Look at the dumbass Crips and Bloods. They just got Big U and all those idiots. Rick Baby, always talking tough and all that crap with Adam 22's goofy ass. You know? Vlad, they got a Negro talking on his show now because they had to have his monkey ass step away because he knew he was about to, people getting tired of it. But they want to go to the limit when you individuals world over, keep running around confined in your mental institution of level stupidity as if it's supposed to be meaningful. Next time you see somebody crashing out, let them keep crashing out. You ain't nobody's savior but your own. Okay? Nobody's savior but your own, if you want to use that term. Stop having all this animosity and hate towards one another. Right now, they're doing exactly what they did to Germany and Russia. They're doing it to America. APAC, and they got the dumbass politicians. They got them blackmailed, paid off, or whatever. Are they just that mentally sick? Because a lot of people in government are some of them are some serious mental issues. They have some serious mental issues. I think that's starting to come out. I don't know how Lori Lightfoot was a mayor or whatever. I don't. And so many, Maxine Waters. I mean, come on, seriously? I wouldn't want her to be my nanas or my great grandmammies or nothing. I'm like, oh, that's not my book. I don't know who's that idiot. Cornel West. Come on, man. Look at these idiots out here. He's like the reverse reject of Don King. Look like he want to be on Uncle Ben's bag of synthetic bioengineered rice now. They have made the world completely stupid. And because the world moved, for those who think world means round, stop, moves in the ideology of this stupidity, you think that you're going to be free? None of you are free. Y'all are servants. You're slaves to a narrative that's a lie. So how can you be truth or free when you run around in this makeup? I don't care if you don't like what I'm saying. I'm not here for anybody to like. I don't care about your feelings or your emotions. I don't care if you got 4 stripes, 4, 5 stars. I don't give a flying what you think you are. Because you obviously still don't know what you are. When I was reading Claudio Nocelli's, the first part of Beyond the Christ Wall, right? Remember that? The first 2 books? And it was talking about the wars and how they have all the people, all these different nationalities brought together to fight one another. Allow them to live a little longer, and this, that, and other. Why is it that the Negro, when you read it in contemporary, we all lived over 100 years old, while y'all were mostly dying at 40 and 50 and 60? A handful at making it to 80 in the early 1900s. Now they're all the Negroes are dying young. Well, see, they need to clean up the dirty work. Y'all idiots don't know who the true Jews are, if you want to use that narrative, or the Judeans or Atlanteans. You don't want to know who they are, because then it removes you from some fake entitlement. Like, you ain't done shit. You haven't done nothing to have an entitled opinion. I even had a friend of mine now who says, man, everybody know you Indian, but why you doing what you're doing? Because you're doing what you're doing. He just looked at me. He thought I put something on. I said, no. You ain't got to go on your fake ass, jinky ass medicine, man. It's going to poison everybody. And then mess with the little grandbaby when they get drunk. And what I'm telling you, because you're doing what you're doing. Now everybody's running around, all these dumb Negroes, that's special forces, everything. African-American, African, and they're supposed to be in college, all this smart and intelligent. They sound so damn stupid. Who's got the copyright on African-American? Who owns the tag that's based on food of African-American? Tell me that. They even went as far as, because of what a lot of us have done, to make you think that Christopher Columbus was the name given to Fernand. Yeah, to the original person that came here who always knew us, who used to talk to us over there. Now they say, okay, well, he changed his name. This is what these idiots do. And then people actually buy that shit. They buy into it as if it's liquid. As if it's liquid. Like really, like it's... I cannot believe people buy into that. They do it over and over. The hospital's not about curing. Medicines are not about healing. You never ask why all the bells were gotten rid of by some of your relatives, right? That the benefits that it would have had on you, see things clearly and not make the poor choices, not be in war or anything else. All the herbs and stuff we taught people how to heal themselves with natural turpentine, castor oil, and everything else. Red clay out of Georgia and the Carolinas, they had to spray with aluminum. Right now, the levels of aluminum on the ground is phenomenal. But y'all think you know everything. That's the only thing they know how to do is destroy you. What's the relationship between the Jew and the Negro? One's the fraud, one's real. I can talk good on here every day. Everybody just want to come over here and say, I'm going to get the tea from him. Y'all just want to be takers, right? You think that I'm here for you to use and take whatever you want? Is that what you think? Without being obligatory? Because you know that I'm not looking for nothing, right? I'm gonna make me some taters, onions, some steak. I gotta run to the post office first. Chop it up, me and T, and sit back. Guys is in there, he's getting his studies. He's got, I think this week he's got his final test and everything like so. You know, I give plenty of energy to our brother Tribe. It's important. What's important? If you don't know by now what's important, then you're right where you need to be at. I've already stated what's important. For y'all to get it together. You still have a chance, you know. I'm kind of like Jonah. I really don't want y'all to take up the opportunity. I would like to see the destruction, actually. But y'all have a chance. Y'all have a chance. The hardest thing to do is to let go of greed, to let go of envy, zealousness, the opulence of your existence is based on the character you decide upon. Until you realize that you don't have to be a character in the vaudeville of it all. And maybe y'all stop being monkeys in the zoo, caged up, waiting for your next banana or your hose down. And you start actually moving through the woods, seeing what it is you're supposed to see. And it doesn't have to be eloquent. Because I tire. I tire very much so. Sure. Selah Nitsa. Carrie, baby girl, 7 grams. Deb D. Johnson's worse in Chicago. Oh, Peter, talk about it, man. I'll talk about it. Nord, Elysian, what's going on, fam? How y'all doing? Till the end of my grand. Yeah, well, we don't, remember, I always say, don't be negative. I'm not saying you are, but it's important that I say this. Don't be negative to everything. That's what they need is energy. What do I got to keep saying? But you are correct. Nothing exists. There's no tomorrow. It's today and yesterday is gone. I am serious. You create each moving moment. They have been choosing when to eradicate and remove you from the story line. Hell, especially when you don't know what to tell in the story. You get it? Happy New Year, everybody. Absolutely. got you, beloved. Marcus got you. Grand Ascension, absolutely. You like my truck? Pause in the middle. Appreciate you. Everybody, all right? I appreciate everybody. No, show DL. He says, been in the woods hunting for my dinner all my life. You're lazy and you suck. Yeah, okay, sure. James Bond, what's going on, beloved? See, that's emotions. You see that? That's somebody who don't know anything about nothing other than what he's been nurtured. And yeah, he's been raised appropriately. So thank you. Hunting with what? I tell you what, why don't we take the gun back from you? Why don't we take the scents, if you're using scents and urine and all that? Why don't we take the little tree stand from you? Why don't we take your little camouflage and then go out there and do your hunting and tell me how that works out? We'll take back what belongs to us and you can have you and all your equitable, homogenous stupidity. We can, you know what I mean? Hey, what's up, buddy? Come here. The Hornets. Y'all, nobody cares. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, nobody cares. You've been hunting nothing. Anywho, right? So think about it. And then there's all these people talking segregation. You idiots have been segregated from the start, but why don't y'all stop using that term? Didn't y'all ever look up the words and go all the way back? No, you didn't. I know you didn't. Would you expect me to give it to you? No, I'm not. You was born in New York. What's New York? What's New York? Listen here, little girlie man. Relax. All right. Take your sister's panties off. All right. Take your little bra off and relax. You've been hunting in New York. You know what? You ain't been hunting nowhere. Go play, what's the cube? Go play your little game, okay? Go play your game, okay? Down low, how you doing down low? 3 years of stand-up comedy, I'm gonna have a field day with this little boom, bop, boom, bop. I needed a good laugh. Down low. That's what, New York, yeah. Liberal, that's what. Woo-hoo. Oh, wait, I don't know how you do it. What do y'all do? Oh, it's 2 holes and oh, that's what it is. Oh, that's some mantras. They're okay. Even if it was the bot, there ain't nothing they can do. They just get joked and cracked on with their goofy selves. But anyway, you take your checkered drawers off. Yeah, I bet they go to Maine and get into that little bear thing, you know, the men's, the bears, you know, when they you greased up petroleum jelly and Vaseline all over the place. You're on a soil that's gonna cough you up and spit you out. You know that, right? Well, just hold on for the ride. Stay in that mind state. Appreciate you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He was probably locked up and he had to walk around with the little t-shirt tied up in a little tot. I don't want to go hard on the gay community because they're not a bad community, all right? They're doing whatever they do, right? It's the perversion. And now sometimes it's what you got to deal with, obviously. They feel some kind of way. Fake account. How dare you talk about our existence? Yeah, bah humbug. Tooey. But anyway, when you look at the education system, what Trump has done and his staff, regardless of who said or told them to do it, DEI, all of it is worthless. There's nothing of it that is based on equitable facts. There's nothing of it that will relegate the better. You know, we have these HBCUs, right? What is it, about 100 of them? All they doing is creating idiots. HBCUs are creating idiots. All right. There are a lot of racists who have unracified themselves, and they went to some of these HBCUs, and they're speaking with good pride and everything else, and they're telling a story, but they're telling it in a narrative that's baseless and a lie. You know what I'm saying? And the propaganda that pissed. Yeah, exactly. And this is a way for the parents. I hate that word parenting. If you know in legalese what it is, you know, it belongs to the state and ward of the state. Anyway, but we'll say parenting, right? With the husband. Remember, we are, and even as bad as it is, we are still in our children's lives more than everybody else. Yet, it is still breaking down, sadly. And the system has created this. You know what I mean? It has literally created this. And it's for all facets. There's a lot of light skins who they couldn't stand it, but they were doing it in a racist dichotomy, showing their ignorance and how stupid they are. And they weren't wrong, though. You see what I'm saying? But the way they went about it, because they don't know the truth, the history of this land. When you start to realize these things, you don't have to rationalize them. You don't have to shove them down nobody's throat. You can tell people, hey, well, whatever you choose, it's your choice. The problem is we went from the 70s and 80s being able to, around the last time we were able to be able to comfortably communicate these things on all fronts with different factors. We've gotten to a place where everybody thinks the symposium is fight, fight, fight. That is the spell. If you ever watch the media, what are they always showing you? Whenever you look at certain commercials, what are they showing you? What's behind it? It's got everybody focused without being focused, and it being further disharmonic, unharmonic, a further breakdown, and making socialites of war compatible for exchange. And that's in the physicality of life loss. Yet you don't really die. But if you don't know this, then you cannot subjugate yourself to a better position in existence. You cannot go to a different place where you're going to exist in the light of your truth. You know what I mean? Positive energy. Yes, Charles. First time. I appreciated you, brother. Yes, that's exactly. People go sit there and say, well, you're mixed. No. 3 of the Germans, check this out. 3 of the Germans that married into my family, there was 2 original, melanated, and 1 light skin. Right? Kaiser, Klein, and Schaust. Yes. People don't know that. My Chinese cousins, they darker than me. Much darker than me. My Costa Rican family, a consortium of light, dark. It's a beautiful amalgamation. Okay? My Chickasaw, it's not the people that y'all think are the ones playing Chickasaw today. That's not, I don't know who them people is. One of them even had the nerve to have Lily Wooten as a relative, and I was like, yeah, I had to tell them to trace back the line. They couldn't even tell me they just selected that name. I was like, no, what about Mary? What about, and they're like, who's that? How can you know my 6th and don't know 5th, 4th, 3rd, what happened? No. See, that's like me calling the Sons of Confederacy and telling them truth and saying, how are you? Where? Where'd you live at? What county? What you fought with who? And then I realized that they're just putting a composite together. Who taught them this? My great uncles made sure I knew. You know? We're all shade of wheat. We're all shade of brown. Every one of us. Unless you're albino, like some of my brothers, Scott Wolf and all those guys, Nicole, that's something different. But everybody else is a different shade of weed. On the weed index or chart, everyone has melanin. You'd be surprised how many people dark actually go outside and actually swirl up and get sunburned, because in the dynamic, their melanin is not as strong. As some people, light skin have very strong melatonin by the narrative of what medicine and science, have created as far as on the chop. People don't even know these things. Why? Because they need people at each other's throats. They need division by crayon color, race, right? Bullcrap, and ethnicity. All these different, that when we look back at Boaz and all those idiots, Zionists, whether the Christians were the first ones, these idiots are the ones that created this new amalgamation, this new narrative, and people refuse to see the enemy for what they are and what they've done. what I mean? It's not mind-boggling. I was about to say mind-boggling, but it ain't. It's incredible. The world's coming around. The Earth, they're coming around. But the sad part is not enough, not all. Now, I'm not saying all should. Some people need to be held accountable for what they've done, the choices they made. And some would say, but that was in ignorance. Well, they choose to stay there. We created the drone. What are they using it for? They couldn't wait. The drone, the first electric robot person, you know, of the fake Victorian age. That's actually Tartary. Who you think created it? I mean, when I was reading it, who made the electric piano you always see in those fake westerns? The one with the little spool plays by itself. Who was the individual that created that? Do I have to read the charts again? Who's the original cowboy? Not Cowhand. The fact that they tried to say horses didn't exist here. Oh, that's been eradicated. The fact that in the so-called system of education, they pushed that. They actually pushed that. Like there was no lions here. They killed those along with the bisons in droves. They hunted them. The grand wolves and everything. The jaguars, the lynx. They hunted everything. These fake little wannabe hunters. These delusional idiots. You know, we can eat meat. I'm healed. No, as long as you're getting meat or anything without those chemicals and everything they've in, or you're getting stuff that hasn't been adulterated and genetically modified, you're going to be all right. If you're not getting those 262 different types of sugar, you're going to be all right. If you're not getting, I'm just saying, if you're not getting all these things they use to kill bugs that they put shellac and all that in the cereals and all the everything else, you'll be okay. But because you have the guy that likes to eat meat and the vegan going crazy at each other, how do you get around that? I watched several videos of these idiots in the chicken coops, the turkey dens, the pigs, the cows, and how they're abusive. No wonder they don't live long and they're always committing suicide. Because they're in there with the wrong things, sexing up the chickens and the turkeys. I know that might not be ad worthy, but I'm just saying. The hills have eyes. Yeah, stop sleeping with your sisters and your brothers, man. Get out of here, horse mine. Just stop it. You can't make this stuff up. You know what I mean? What is that? It's the sun. White skin and sunburn sucks. Any skin and with not enough melanin or the proper preparation sucks. Do not use sunscreen. Never use sunscreen. Allow yourself to slowly adapt to the sun. Allow your body to change. And sometimes it's what you're putting in. If you're not putting enough chlorophyll in, your body's going to react that way. You know, we're talking about photons, right? Yeah, it was a lot of stuff. There's a whole bunch of different stuff. I'm not going to get into all that. But if you incorporate a little more, even if you eat meat, incorporate a little more chlorophyll. Yes. You know, all the time y'all go out there and hit the lawnmower on your you're talking about, you see crabgrass high in vitamin C. You see all these other herbs and stuff that you just mow down in ignorance, dandelion roots and all that, and you have no idea about the benefits of helping you deal. They say light-skinned folk get more vitamin D. That's a lie. Everybody gets vitamin D from the sun. They have to have people thinking they're better or less than others. You know what bloodline is the true bloodline in this land? And while bloodline stretches all over, and I'm not going to get into the uteruses of women being stolen, there's a lot of things. O negative and O positive. Y'all know what the census is about the light-skinned folk who run around thinking they're white and they actually come from a Negro stock? Millions. I watched UK and the education system they're creating this, and the Caribs. They were putting American Negroes against Caribbean Negroes. We're going to use the term that nobody's Negro, but we're going to use that definition. All right? And I watched it unfold. And I'm grateful for Anitis going over there in college and shaking that up a little bit. That's not a hate. there is a real abundance of ignorance. It's that is mind-boggling. How history can be lost. But I have a whole lot of brothers and sisters who live in Africa. Been there for 4 or 5 generations who know they're from here. You can't make that up. You know, I know we always say Abulan and this, that, and the other. So-called Africa had great cities just like over here. Capital, all that. A lot of that destroyed by the Dutch and the Portuguese. The nuance of the very individuals who are doing all the destructive things now. You know? That's awesome. They can, everything is divided nowadays, right, left, white, black, men, females, any way they can. Yes. Yeah, and that should allude to the fact of what I'm stating. You know what I'm saying? Without me saying this is a fact or not. To research the stuff and see it for what it is. Trump didn't do nothing wrong, really. I have this individual, he's a Kung Fu teacher. I like him, Brick, on Facebook. He's always saying the rapist, going hard against Trump. I'm like, and he's always talking about the new thing is gas and eggs. He's been in office, what, 50 days or something like that? 50-something days? I don't know. 60 days, whatever. The gas price was already high. It was worse in California, which is at $7, $8 in certain places. And the eggs, I mean, I was in Page when Biden was still there, and I was like, what is this $10, $11, and $7 for all this eggs? And we're talking about deadly stuff, eggs. We're not talking about good stuff. They ain't been rubbed with mineral oil. It's been washed off. They won't last long. They done messed up with the hens and the chicken. They done perverted everything. I grew up when we was eating eggs. We was eating quail eggs and robin eggs. You know what I'm talking about? You know, yeah, man, shit. They couldn't mess with them. Those weren't hybridized birds. Now they're saying all birds are fake. Anyway, that's a whole nother. That could be a whole nother, you know, live, or that could be set for a podcast. But yes, our people did nothing but create. They took it and they weaponized it. And our people play it right on in ignorance. Who did you allow the Chinese to move in and get buy land? And did we create an IOU that's supposed to come from the government to us for all the time we've had to use that because they keep printing it, because they want to steal our gold and our rubles and jewels using ignorant light-skinned folk and dumb Negroes who have betrayed themselves? I'm just asking. Everybody's smart until they start really looking at everything and they realize, wait a minute, we've been played. You know, the Belgians wrecked Africa as well. Yeah, the Belgians, the Dutch, one the same, if you ask me. You know, and I'm not here to push hate, but when you look at everything, you start to see it. But right now, America has been moving like a third world country, a bunch of idiots. I don't even like calling people America that really aren't who we are. It doesn't matter, Maru, Tiamer, this, that, and the other. How about the Spanish guys? There's more than one that have been creating all them fake statues and stuff over the last 4 decades, convincing people that they are from there when they're not. You might have the bloodline somewhere, but no. The people that came raping all the women, this, that, and murdering the men, think about it. Look at how they turned on the Chinese. But you got Chino down there, right? See, nobody wants to buy in this. I respect my brothers in the Philippines like a mother. I served with a bunch of them, all right? And they knew real history. The Negritos over there, they knew real history. Like Australia, some of them still don't mind being called black and run around trying to be better because they got straight hair, like the Hindu and dark. And then the ones that were solid, and they like, y'all don't know your history over there? I'm like, a lot of my people don't, and they're finding out. But the work, the job that has been done is phenomenal. Hats off. And I ain't talking about no small golf ball. I'm talking about hats off. But people are seeing it for what it is, and they're changing direction. They become so tired of it. The problem is that they don't have anyone to guide them. I am not the guide for everyone. What the hell with that? I'll never be in that department. You know what I mean? Larry Rosline, each station should decide that young students should learn not to fail. Yes, absolutely. That's what we're talking about. Absolutely. And the parents actually be involved. You know, I know they've made it kind of hard robbing everybody of their taxes to make them live a certain way instead of allowing them to live in a joyous, wonderful nuclear age family, which, you know, that's kind of gone. But people have allowed a fictional government to do this. It's mind-boggling. That is mind-boggling that people could see it, but there's a lot of hard things. People party too much. They should stop. I drank yesterday. I wanted to have a day of effort. I wanted to finish it off, get rid of it, and I wanted to allow myself. I didn't have no peyote. I didn't have no ayahuasca. Ugh, I wish I did. You know, to allow myself to see a little further than what I normally do, and I couldn't meditate to a point. I was blocked yesterday. I don't know why. I was blocked a little bit. I was getting little hints of things, and I said, you know what? Right today, I had to dig into my I don't care. It's not meaning I don't. I had to see something. And I fell asleep, and that's when I saw what I needed. I think I still had a shot of Jack Daniels, I was like, I saw what I had to see. And it was the hardest thing to get there. It was hard to get there. The hardest it's ever been. I went out and hugged the tree. I felt it. And I realized, okay, now I'm a little better. What's that? You already said the Constitution is unconstitutional. It's on the pull up those treaties. Yes, we have all the treaties. They'll ignore them. That's how you think they did what they've done. Sneakery and everything else. Got some of the elders of our people off land criminally, and they don't own it. But because they have a lot of people in these conservation, all these goofy things by this fake ass, they give up their rights. We don't own nothing but the rights, the heir of the land. It's amazing. It's amazing. Like I said, racists are the dumbest individuals on earth. They are freaking the stupidest things I've ever seen. They are so freaking. I am so grateful every time people come out of that racist dichotomy, which was created by them. The ones that talk about that Star of David. Ain't no star, no damn David. That's a tall. That's a. I can't even fathom how people bought into all this stuff, man. I have to laugh. It's the biggest comedy hot mic pork and bean circuit I've ever seen. It's phenomenal. You know what I mean? All I ever wanted to do was build homes, get people to a land, let them struggle together, which is a beautiful thing. People just don't even know what that's like no more because it's easier to struggle in pain and suffrage than together. Ganja made a way. People could chip in a few dollars, could help them a long way, but nobody wants to take it up. Well, I figured y'all wait till it gets warm. It's spring now, New Year. They say spring, but we know it's not. But anyway, it's the 5th month of the next beginning, new beginning. But and it's like people don't want to take the risk and want to stay stuck in a risk that's the outcome is not good. What can I say? There's nothing I can say to that. You know what I mean? Appreciate that, beloved. They pull the okie dokie. Yeah, rocking out. Yeah, they pull the good okie dokie. They pull the real good one. You know what I'm saying? I would just like to see people actually get it together, the whole earth over. You know, when I was a page and I introduced Ganja and all those West Side, they didn't know those guys were Ukrainian or depression or this, that, and other. They didn't know that. We all worked together. We had fun. We trained. We partied. Everybody had a good. And it's what it's supposed to be. You know each other's old ladies, whatever. You know the kids, and there was no talk about color. Even when we discussed politics, we were just all going. You know, a lot of us veterans, we were all going, "What the heck, man? How are people buying into this?" And I would be sitting there going, I'm sitting there, and they know that I'm just giddy and happy because I'm like, they get it. Sadly, the most don't. Everybody thinks they can fight their way out of everything. It's the wrong fight. Keep creating something out of nothing. Then you're going to get a whole lot of something that alludes to nothing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, I'm gonna get ready to get off of here. I'm gonna run the post office, come back, chop up some taters, get them fried up with some butter, with some Celtic salt, get a couple of steaks, pop, some onions, gobble that up. We got some work to do up here. Won't begin some more plywood until next week, Friday or whatever. Like I said, I had to doll out a lot of money, like $700 to help some people, man. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, I do give my last sometimes, you know, which is all right. You know, how many more times? Let's see if you got it. We have not allowed our energy to circumvent, to be beneficial for self or others. We want to create this climate of an existence. Like if I don't have it, I'm gonna fall off. Well, when I last checked, dollar or no dollar, I'm still me. Penny or no penny, I am still me. It's sad that we've gotten to this delusional state, not by our own choice, sadly by our own convictions and the foolish dichotomy of it. We have chosen to be the lesser. I remember I used to be riding with Pearl, and I had to pull over. A guy had a bucket, vet, work for food. I don't care if he has a house, a mansion, or a car, a Lamborghini around the corner. What I see, I cannot judge unless I know otherwise. It's not me to be that intuitive about that individual. If I got $10 on me, it's the only thing I got, I'm gonna put it in that cup because I can get that back. This individual might not really be capable of here, and the stability of things, you know? What did Pause in the Middle say, huh? Oh, hi, yeah, okay. Okay, appreciate it. Who's that? What? Oh, yeah, Carrie, yeah. But not just so, you'll find health and wealth, absolutely. Yeah, that's the health and the wealth. But I'm gonna get off of here, run down here, see if I got anything. Waiting on a few books. They didn't refund me for the go-kart parts to start building this thing, because I knew it was gonna be warm soon, so I could be out there welding a little bit and everything. I need to get me a little makeshift carport, concrete in the ground with a little table in there, the workbench. But there's a bunch of stuff that I haven't received yet, and I'm like, man. I'm getting more stuff in, so it's just, but some things I spent a little bit on that should have been here. Go-kart parts, a few other things I don't have to mention on here. It's kind of weird. But anywho, I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to old fogey, old engine like me. All right, we can get it together. I have a Cashapp if anybody wants to donate. It could be for screws, it could be for lumber. We're gonna have to start buying a lot of 2x4. We have plenty over there to work and get these walls up. But you know, our books, because I do have a lot of books lined up I still want to pick up. You know. Anywho. Like I said, I appreciate you guys as always do. We're gonna read. I'm not gonna read it now. I'm gonna read this a little later. The Crowd, a study of the popular mind, is an exceptional read. I don't know if Baby Girl Slaughter got hers yet or anybody else, but just by the Gustave Le Bon, this is I'm a sociology major. At least I'm not going back to college for it. I say major because I still deeply into sociology. Even I started going back into the psychology of things, looking at certain individuals and doctors and but mostly sociology, and that's why that's an importance, and in that importance that there's still hindrances. So to make one think that maybe it's not as important. I'm aware of things that are very important, but in this chapter 3, the ideas, reasoning power, and imagination of crowds, it's a phenomenal read. I'm going to read it to you guys later on, and we're going to read also, like I said, My Journey to Antarctica by Claudio Nocelli, Argentine brother right there. I think that it'd be another key, just like The Power of Now and the Christ, you know, knowing that heaven is the head, like the crown, and you have to reset your blood. It becomes impure. As you know, the enemy has slowly been doing that for a long time, all the way from the non-stick pans that belonged on fake space shuttles and all the other chemicals, all the PFASs. They knew exactly, because you got to remember there was a time up into the 60s and 70s where milk came in bottles and orange juice and everything else. Nobody was utilizing plastic. Then Tupperware came along, and that was the next phase. And nobody knew it, you know. Everybody was ignorant to it because everybody felt it was safe. Well, by now you know the FDA, you know that the Food and Drug Administration and all the other consortiums have no purpose with our intentions or good intentions for any of you. You all see that now. So, with education being in the hands of the people, influenced by this, in the hands of the state, influenced by the people, how it should be, not somebody basing curriculum by individuals who have been bought and paid for to push garbage. Because anybody who would allow those books that went to those children, talking about it's our right to look at another boy's pee-pee and tickling booties and all that other garbage, it's a sick state, a sick existence. So this is how you take back from that. And America has over 400,000 children missing each year. That should be saying. And in Germany, when Hitler got them out of there, all the children stopped missing. Facts. Same thing with Russia. When they got them out of there, except for the ones hiding in there, Zionists are not religious. They don't care. They don't call themselves Jews and this, that, and other. They do here, but they're not one and the same. That's why they treat some Jews, you've seen them, the way they do, because to them, they're just a proxy of their creation. And most of our people run around in ignorance. There's a lot of brothers and sisters who find the facts, they put it out there, and people choose not to have a deeper understanding of that truth. On the design, we have the power not to say yes, absolutely. The Department of Education has never had anything to do with curriculum. No, I know, but they play a part. They play a part in it. My aunt, Joanna Wright, she was one of the heads in the East Coast in Jersey. of sport education. So I'm very aware of a lot of things. Went to college, ex-military, but they play their part. You know, just like people say the food and drug industry, say they'll sit there and lie if they're paid, talking about the shots and everything else. Yet they're not the ones creating it, synthesizing it, and they always tell you whenever you see vitamins and stuff, they don't regulate it. Like, so they allow people to poison you. So everyone plays a part, you know what I mean? But yeah. Yeah, okay, Mike. Sure thing. Most appreciate you. Appreciate you too. Appreciate you too, brother. Yeah. So the U.S. Department of Education violating federal law. The United States Department of Education has placed the nation on the road to a national curriculum. The Constitution does not authorize the Department of Education speech. This speech to Congress in 2001. The U.S. Department of Education's existence and operations are not constitutional and have negative impacts on student education. I could read two more that really point straight to it, but I figured that because a lot of you are Google masters, I would advise you to get off of Google and actually do some real research, because I know a lot of you are, not all of you, are a circle jerk of the very education system that you abode and loathe in. So it shows, it shines brightly in you. They hate when they're talking to a real Indian. They want to be here so bad. Maybe some of y'all are fake Indians. That's why they're saying something, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate you, son. The education system has everything to do with the Zionists. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Bernard. But you didn't have to. Appreciate it. But you didn't have to. I like to see them when they start popping off. Let them come on in. You know, it's like going back 4 years ago, and they started pointing at all these Hindu and Chinese who were getting these degrees that were bought and paid for. And they've been working in the field. Never supposed to have been there. When it's the government, y'all's fake government, easily paid out. They probably had some adrenochrome, a few other things. They got to see the other lifestyle, the one I can't stand, you know, living that, you know. And then you see the work, their work, and how successful they are. You know, they're always going to pop their little heads up. It's sad. It's not an enjoyable thing, but it is what it is. The system started falling when Obama and Michelle, but oh yeah, absolutely. Even before that, even Bill and Hillary Clinton, when they got up in there, it was just, wow, God, dog, the stuff they were doing, especially with Haiti and all that, not just the crap of all the millions they stole, but even with those systems on there and Oprah, you know, and people ain't look at how many of those systems were missing, you know. I mean, yeah, it's pretty messed up, you know. The education system in the beginning, when my aunts and uncle, you know, before Vietnam, when they were first institution, they were being pushed out. There were trades. It was important for people to learn all these different trades. Martin Luther King talked about it quite often. I'm not to drag on him, but I know everybody's got all this information. He was this and he was that and he was that. I mean, his mama was murdered by a Hebrew Israelite created by Farad. His mother, was murdered, right? By a Hebrew Israelite. And then he was subjugated when he started seeing a light that I lead my people into a burning house by his acts, by acting. Well, that's why he gave the I Have a Dream speech where he wasn't supposed to say who you were, so-called Negroes. And he told you what land you were on and where you're from, but you have the HBCUs, you have all these idiots, and based on curriculum and this false education system established by the Rockefeller and the, had to push to make sure that y'all were stupid along with everybody else. You know what I mean? They screwed the world over. But anyway, let me sign off. Run down here, come back, make something to eat, and I'll see you guys later. You know what I mean? Decent before then. I grew up in rural Alaska, in the middle of nowhere. You break down, you on your own if you don't have VHS video. Wow. Yeah, I got some friends in Alaska, which is supposedly bought from the Russians. They say a whole lot of things. Oh, another thing before I get off. Are y'all aware? It's funny how they divide everything up. Who remembers when I was saying last week and early in the week, I says, when you look at, this is not against the French people, this and another, but when you look at France, Belgium, the Dutch, all these individuals, right? Spaniards, they got y'all, they got rid of the original people in Spain. They got everybody believing that France conquered this part, England conquered that part, British, all these different parts. They all came here and fought together to fight our people. That's what my great-great-uncle said. They were fighting all these different people. They were fighting together against our Confederacy, our Republic. They were together. There was no separation. They had conquered those lands and they came here to move on this land. And they realized that we were some good damn fighters. And it wasn't easy to beat us, so they had to do it sneakily. So they made treaties and they watched as the old ones died off. And then you had, after that, the end of the fake Civil War, the punch bowls. Not one, not just the one in Natchez, but there were other ones. And that's where they started subjugating the old world Tartary to murder and kill them all. Unarmed. A lot of them didn't get to learn what they were capable of because of the war. They didn't defeat shit. They didn't defeat us. Treaties. And they choose to ignore them because they put a fake people. They put the fakes, the frauds from their boarding schools who they had to indoctrinate and murdered a lot of them to make them think they were something they weren't. And y'all fight against them now because they're ignorant. Y'all are ignorant and nobody really knows. You know? It's funny how you got people running around playing Indian and they keep saying, yeah, but you know, we no pale skin here until Christopher Columbus. And how the hell y'all gonna play Indian? Well, you know, whitewash. Oh, stop. You know what I mean? I've talked to them and I asked them, I'm looking at all their pictures and I'm like, no, this looks like Gog and Magog. I don't see nobody there indigenous, no aboriginal anywhere. But that's what you get with a perversion that will subjugate everybody who plays a part in that role. So you got like dumb Nietzsche's running around calling themselves something that has nothing to do with truth. They're running away because they're a bunch of cowards. They were never nurtured and reared in the proper way. And then you have a bunch of other people who are going to be used because to the enemy, a lot of you are throwaway. So y'all change that direction. See things for what they are. I don't care if you're wearing a costume over here trying to agitate because you think you know something. You don't know nothing. It's still going to work out the same damn way. Alright? So come in here with your little young self instead of sitting down learning how to listen because you've been marginalized and made to think that you know everything when you don't know the damn thing. Come on in and say little goofy stuff. You know, it doesn't matter if they're Chinese with a whole bunch of things in their page description that say deplorable dumb things. That's just on them. That's something they're going to have to wear at the end of time. It doesn't matter how perverted, what they spun, if they want to go to the killer combs, you know, underground places or wherever, islands, hidden, you know, where they can pay to take a life or whatever. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? But anyway, keep believing that control of the education system. You got lucky, but overall, out there. Peace, what was that? Well, no, he's talking about Alaska. There are some things that were different back then. But depending on his age, it could be very true. There were places here in the rural areas where it was the same thing. AM, FM radio. They didn't have a lot of things on the res. They didn't have electricity. Some places right now are still getting electricity. It's crazy. It's a lot. But you know, it is what it is. Again, I appreciate y'all. I keep saying I'm getting off here. Let me get off here and do what I got to do. I'll be back here a little later and we'll get it in. It's going to be some nice days, 70s and 80s, you know what I'm saying? But again, I appreciate you guys. If you want to hit the Cashapp, you can. Research the information. I always say, don't take my word for everything. Research it and see what you find.